What's up, sports investors? Welcome back, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, aka Her of Fame, but you can call me Slur of Fame. All right. Today's Thursday, December 8th, 2022. Again, got less than 30 days, about 23, 24 days before you can make a legal sports bet in Ohio. You know, you've seen the last two videos that we've done for the last 2 days. One kind of introduction about explaining the the terms, single bet, straight bet, parlays, round robins. Well, that was the yesterday. The first day was about the spread, explaining what the spread is, the odds are, what the different numbers look like. All right. And today we're going to talk about the atmosphere of a sports book. Where I'm looking for an actual sports book, not the not betting on the app and whatnot. And some safety precautions and whatnot you might look out for and everything. So, again, I'll try not to hold you too long, okay? But before I do anything, I need you to go ahead and hit that like button. Smash that like button. Subscribe. Leave comments, okay? And also do the same on this channel I'm about to give you. It's BCDK _OH _game. Okay? That's our video, our sports betting game show that we're gonna do here. It should be out very soon. I mean, I know I've been teasing it for a while, just fine tuning and making sure everything is straight. Okay, go because that's how you become a contestant on that game. You have to go on that channel, like and subscribe, and leave a comment on there. And then that way, we'll find you, email you, whatever. You might want to leave your email or some type of contact info. We'll get a hold of you and bring you onto the show. You can win some bread, all right? But, yeah, I'm trying to think. There's nothing else I need to talk, but just make sure you like and subscribe on those. Also, like and subscribe to the Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show. That is a audio podcast that you can hear on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Podcasts, TuneIn. You're hearing about 10 different places. Goes usually Thursday through Monday. And it's usually out by about 8 a.m. Plenty of time for you to get your action in, whether it's on the weekend or during the weekday. Yeah. So, like I told you, I first made my first sports bet like 2004. $25 won me 40 something. The NFL game back then was an NFL playoff game. Okay, because I learned sports betting from a guy who was heavy into sports betting, especially with college basketball. He had lived on the East Coast where I was living at the time. I just happened to be in Vegas and called him. Said, hey, this is what you were always calling me about? Things like that. And because I had a job, but he got a hold of the number and was calling me about it. And I was just happened to be in vacation in Vegas on a light vacation and did that, all right? And, I've been publishing my picks, advice for going into my 5th year now, okay, on the podcast and YouTube here. About 7 years totally on Facebook. I was just messing around on Facebook and people was like, hey, man, I won. I took those bets. I was like, I was just messing around. And they, so I started doing it for real. And the beauty about this podcast is you owe me nothing. Nothing. If you win, that's yours. Okay? Doesn't cost anything to listen or anything. Just about 10, 15 minutes to listen. That's all it'll cost you. 10, 15 minutes. No money, no nothing. I get nothing out of it. I just do it for the love. I'll explain later why I started doing it more regularly. Probably it's just it's a long story behind it. It's a beautiful story behind it. Okay, and I'll explain it to you later. Not today. That's in due time. But yeah, but as far as the atmosphere of a sports book, you know, it's just, well, first of all, it's like this. First of all, this is the main thing you need to know. It's an adult atmosphere, and 97% of all sports bettors are males. 97%. A female politician a female politician told me this back in May of last year, 2021. A female politician told me that, 97% of all sports bettors are males. So you're going to be in a room with all dudes. And then it's a sports bar on top of that, pretty much, because they're going to be serving drinks and, some foods, pizza and wings and things like that. So it's basically going to be a sports bar atmosphere where people are making money and losing money. So just like you'll see in a sports bar, you'll see the obnoxious dude. Okay? Try not to be him. And definitely don't be the guy who's at a sports bar cheering against the local team. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in Cincinnati, you don't want to be cheering against the Bengals, Reds, whoever. You don't want to be doing that. I mean, even though that might have been what you bet. Like, just don't be obnoxious. That's how shit happens, all right? So, yeah, like I said, 97% of all sports bettors are males, all right? So, yes, you go into a sports bar, it's going to be sausage fest, all right? No other way around it. It's sausage fest. Also, something you need to understand, and with that, is that if you go to a sports bar or a sports book, you see a woman sitting there, pretty clean looking woman, not necessarily dressed to the nines, but she's sitting there by herself. Her man's not with her. One or two things is going on. One, she's either trying to be chose, but two, more likely a Fed, some type of law enforcement. Be careful of that too. I don't know what you're into, what you're talking about, whatever, but there's always going to be law enforcement present somewhere, okay? So be careful of that. What else goes on in these sports books? Safe betting. Hashtag safe betting. That's one of our hashtags. Safe betting. Be careful of what you are doing. Okay? Don't be folding tens of thousands of dollars in front of people. Okay? Don't do that. You can get really messed up doing that. You don't believe me? Fuck around and find out. All right? Ain't that what everybody always says anymore today? That's the phrase celebre. Fuck around and find out. Don't do that, okay? Trust me. Keep your money, your winnings, everything on the low. If you got to tell, some people that you're cool with, that's one thing. But, keep it on the low. Safe betting. If you're on the app, don't be leaving your credit cards and your information out where people can see it. Okay? Safe betting. Also, one of our hashtags is EFP, every fucking pick. Usually give you 3 picks. More often than not, 2 will hit. Okay? Sometimes 1 hits, sometimes none hits, sometimes all 3 hits, okay? But we're trying to hit all 3. Every fucking pick, right? Okay? What else is there? What else goes on in sports books? I mean, like I said, it's a lot of good energy. It's a lot of positive energy in there a lot. But every now and then a guy's losing his ass off and he's going off. It's going off at the TV. What the fuck? Just everything. Okay? Pardon me the language, but this is what you're going to see in the sports book. If you're a prude, Sports betting in a sports book, probably not for you. You might want to do it on the app, stay at home and handle your own business. All right? And that's another thing. From what I hear in Ohio, they're like there's gonna be like Kroger stores. You know what Kroger is? It's a grocery chain. It's in Ohio. It's in the South. I want to say I saw that some are in California. Even though California does not have legalized sports betting, but like in Ohio particularly, if I see you on a Saturday, if I see you anywhere making wagers in Kroger, I'm gonna talk shit about you on my next podcast, either here or audio podcast. It don't matter. I might get at you on both of them. Like, yeah, I saw this brother. He was in the line. Did a cash back from his debit card. He just ordered a box of Captain Crunch and a box of Super Dupers for his girl. He ordered a box of Super Dupers, then went over there and made a parlay. Like, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm glad Ohio approved sports betting, but putting it in Kroger's is like the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my fucking life. People are going to be in Kroger's rumbling. Come on, man, you making me spoil my milk. You in line too long. Yeah, that's another thing about sports betting. Whether you go up to the teller, the writers is what they're called. You can check an interview I did with a sports book employee. It's not that far back, about a month or two behind on my timeline there. The kiosks at this particular sports book, they give you 15 minutes, but nothing happens. They just say try to hold it within 15 minutes. Machine doesn't shut down or nothing, but you want to go in knowing what you want. If you're at the kiosk playing around, you lost already, more than likely. You should know 24 hours in advance what you want. When you walk up to the writer, walk up to the kiosk, it should be less than a 5-minute transaction, depending on what all they got to do. They got to give you, if they're paying you some money back, that's what's going to take it a little longer, but it still shouldn't take no more than 5 minutes. Like I said, unless they're just folding out hundreds on you. Okay? Should be a very quick, painless transaction. Anything over the 5 minutes, you more than likely already lost. All right? What else do we see in these sports books? Like I said, just a lot of good times, people just mingling. You'll enjoy it, but be careful. Okay? Be careful. In one over in Indiana, somebody got shot. We saw that. Didn't see it, but you know what I'm saying? You kind of heard the shot, then heard about it the next time. But, the next day on the news, it was, around Super Bowl time last year. And that's another thing, this Super Bowl. A lot of you Ohioans, this will be your first time making a bet in Ohio, and it's right around, about a month before the Super Bowl. When you go to the Super Bowl, there's going to be about 500 different options that you can bet on in that game. Stay away from the goofy-ass props, like what color would a Gatorade be? Unless you know somebody in the Super Bowl, unless you know their equipment manager, you know what color he filled the Gatorade with, don't mess with it. Okay, stay away from that type of shit. How long would an anthem be? Things like that. But cut all that stuff out. Okay? Just stick with the games, the props. And like I said, the best wager is always the straight bet, the single game. You're just worried about one particular outcome. Whether it's a prop, the total, over, under, whether it's the spread, whatever. You're worried about one particular, that's the best way to do it. The straight bet, the single bet, okay? Like I said on my podcast, you see me talking with, on here on YouTube, you see me talking with sports talk radio hosts locally, politicians, because I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. I wanted to help people make a couple dollars. Damn that lottery money. Going out there chasing the pick 4 and pick 3. No, sports betting, yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble still, it's just a gamble, but you have a little more control on it, okay? And once you start getting to the point where you're talking, when somebody says like the Bengals in Buffalo, it's a Monday night game, January 2nd. It's the first time you could bet in Ohio on the Bengals. January 2nd. When somebody starts talking about how, so and so prop for 2 touchdowns is this, they start talking about the money of it. That's when you know you're true to this. You're no longer talking about the games and the players you like, things like that. You're talking about the players that win you money. That's when you know you're true to this and not new to this. All right. But I think that's gonna conclude the 3-part series of Sports Better Than Ohio. We're gonna hop off of here. I wish you all the best. I did my best to give you some pointers about it, and hopefully it pays out for you. But make sure, no matter what, you subscribe to this channel, all right, and that other channel I told you about, all right, BCDK_OH_game, all right. Ohio, we're gonna have some fun, all right. Unlike the other states, Ohio, we're gonna have some fun here, all right. Like I told you, I've been doing this about 5-7 years. 61% of the bets I've published have hit. That's damn good. That's better than all the sharps, because they're at 55%, 61%. All right. So we're gonna hop off of here, and we'll be back at you on the podcast with more action this weekend. All right. But until then, everybody be well. Don't forget to check the audio podcast that's up right now for today, and this YouTube channel up this weekend. All right. But until then, everybody be well. Peace.